Hello and welcome to this podcast edition of Sam's Alternatives with me, Sam. Episode 44. I'll be chatting to Karly shortly. Karly Jewell, amazing artist from Melbourne, Victoria, released There's a Jewel in Town only a few months ago. I'll just do a quick run through of what's been released since last episode. Liar, Zuko, Dream on Dreamer, Father Dear Hands, Caution Thieves, To Octavia, Bloom, Rise from Ashes, The Last Martyr, Decimated Rhinosaur, etc. Alright, Karly's in the lobby. We'll start this interview, as they say. Afternoon, Karly.
Sam, I'm in here.
I have no idea. I've never seen that, Karly, on someone else's end where it says that you're waiting for the host to join, because I was in the actual room, so I have no idea what's going on. Maybe it's
I
my...
thought it was me, and then I'm like, "No, I'm in the room too." So I'm pleased maybe it was a glitch because it knew I was coming.
Or maybe it's been my technology all day, Karly. Let's just put it down to that because my internet was not working for so long this morning. And like, oh, don't tell me we're going to have to reschedule this or...
You know what? I was like, "This is gonna be like Adelaide." Like, what was it? 3 years ago, we had this meeting scheduled, and I remember we had the same problem, and then I had to re-download stuff, and then I couldn't get it working, and I was like, "Oh God, we couldn't do it." I remember we tried like most of that morning, and I was like, "No, it can't happen again. I'm not giving up. Not now."
No, we're not giving up, but I think this is a jinx. That anytime I interview Karly, I love interviewing Karly Jewell, don't get me wrong, but something seems to happen the morning of the interview. Now, maybe it's my premonitions, maybe it's superstition, I don't know, but it's really weird.
Yeah, I don't know. It happened. It always happens to us. But anyway, look, we've broken it now. We've broken that jinx. We're past it.
Yep.
Um, and here we are.
No. It's good to actually catch up with Karly because I have, as mentioned, eventually did interview Karly Jewell about a year after when it was meant to be scheduled. And I know Karly very well, obviously. Seen her live. I'm going to see her live in a couple of weeks with Midnight Devils and Engraved at Cherry Bar, which is going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm so excited for that one. I'm moving in there for the weekend because I've got back to back shows. On
Oh,
the 20th and the 21st, because I'm back there on the 21st with Boulevard of Eyes, and Shotgun Mistress, and Awaken the
oh,
Hate. I think. Yeah.
oh. Again, I miss Glenn. It's like, this, again, if Glenn's watching this, I want to catch up with Glenn, but it seems like every time he's free or got a gig, I'm working the same night, and it's just
Yeah,
like,
I know it happens, right? It's always the way.
oh, it's very frustrating. But no, that looks like a sick lineup as well. Because I was hoping to get to one of them, and then realised I'm not working Thursdays at the moment, and my next two interviews after next Thursday are Tuesdays, so this works in perfectly.
Yeah. Hey, Sam, you know what fell into place also is I remember our last interview. We were meant to be talking about something I was doing, and we got talking about the dreadful tides, right? Look what I'm wearing today. And I'm like, I didn't even realize. And I was like, I'm repping the dreadful tides again today. So I just had to shout out to the dreadful tides again.
Yes. Speaking of bands playing shows, they played last night at was that the Woodshed? No, where was it?
No, they played somewhere last night. I had a show as well, so everyone had shows. I don't think many of us could get to each other's shows because we were all playing.
That tends to be the case, and
Yeah,
November's
and it was
looking like
hard.
that.
It was hard for everyone to pick what show are they going to go to because they're like, there's this show, there's that show. There was so much.
The
It's good.
problem
It's good though. That's what we need. Everyone playing shows again.
the other problem is, Carly, a lot of these gigs are on the same night, but they're also in locations that aren't nearby.
Yeah.
And it's like there's one in a couple of weeks' time, there's two on the same night. I'm like, oh, I'll do both, and then realised one's at Bergie and the other's
Yeah.
at like the Toad. I'm like, yeah, that's not really helpful in going to both and seeing both bands.
Uh,
So, but I guess it's just the way life is, isn't it?
that's it. Yeah.
But of course, I was looking, and it's 4 months since there's a Jewel in town. has been released. And I'm like, nah, that's not 4 months.
I know it doesn't seem like that long. Like we've still got, so much to do with the album and yeah, I can't believe it's out. Like I'm so pleased to have this album out though. It was so exciting holding on to it for a little while.
Because obviously, people that don't know, there was a few singles that dropped off. Of course, there's a Jewel in Town before the album came out, like Sad Girl, Burn, and Other Side. And In the Dark, I think, was also released as a single.
Yeah. Yeah, so I released Sad Girl and kicked off the Sad Girl tour. Um, and headed to Japan for the Sad Girl tour to kind of introduce the first single, and then came home and done some shows and yeah, dropped a few singles and in the dark kind of through people, but I was like, people were trying to ask what was on the album, and I was like, there's something for everyone. Like I did it with the Phoenix album because
Yep.
people know like I'm a multi-genre kind of artist. I'm everywhere. I'm all over it. Um, and yeah, so that was so cool to have that, and people were like, wow, we weren't expecting that, and I was like, well, you know, that's me. I'm full of surprises. So yeah, it really made people like keen because they were like, oh wow, there's so much of everything on this, like especially with Burn, it was like such a big ballad.
Yep.
Um, and Sad Girl was such a like, pop rock anthem. And that's a fun one. Really proud of that one. But yeah, I'm so proud of the whole album and yeah, it's so good to have it out.
I
And
think,
I was really lucky because it was just before I had organized the June July tour to Japan, and that's when I signed with X Music Australia. And yeah, I had the, you know, a little bit more to finish on the album and yeah, signed with them. So it's so cool to also sign with a label here in Australia because my last one was in LA and for the Phoenix album, and it's just so good to be able to work with the people that you're working with and not have them in another country, and all the other bands that we know here, are able to do shows together, and yeah, so it's been amazing.
because I saw Midnight Devils, I think, did I see them with Shotgun Mistress a couple of years ago? I reckon maybe at Stay Gold. There might have
Yes,
only
so
been
that's
last
when
year.
yeah, it's when we came back from Japan. So it was like end of July maybe. Because it was only like a couple of weeks after we got back from Japan because Shotgun came with us. We toured around Japan and yeah, I was so excited because Mick, my bass player, his band also Desert Kingdom were on that lineup. So yeah, we got to kind of when we got back, like, oh my god, it was such a sad feeling. Like it's a real thing when you come back from tour and you're like hit reality, you're like, it's such a downer. It's like what do we do like now? Like because it's just I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm sad. I wanna just, like, get on another bullet train and go somewhere else and play a show," but I was so excited because Shotgun had that show come up and Mick had that show, and, I know Jimmy from the Midnight Devils, like, we met years ago, just from, like, people that we knew in LA, and we kind of just, like, met up on, I think probably was Facebook at first, and we'd actually planned, like, years ago to, do a tour over in the States together. We were gonna start in LA and then head to, Vegas and go to Texas. And then the whole COVID thing came along and we didn't get to do that. And then the Midnight Devils said, we're coming to Australia. So I was so excited to actually meet Jimmy in person and the whole band after like talking to them for so long.
Yes, and of course, yeah, and that's the first time I'd actually seen Desert Kingdom back in the end of July last year, and I don't know which member of the band I talked to from Desert Kingdom. It could have been Mick. I can't remember,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I like that show, and obviously Stay Gold's personally one of my favourite venues in Melbourne, and
Cool venue, right?
yeah, and good location, like, easiest to get to by public transport because you got a tram stop or you got Jewel Station, take your pick. It's
Yeah, I noticed it was like so close by. I was like, yeah, it's a good location. I'm always doing that too when I'm out in city venues and stuff as well. Like I'm looking because I'm always trying to like when I do put on shows, I want to try and find the easiest way for people to get there because that can like right now in the times we're living in, like it can be so hard for people to like drive and pay for parking. So a lot more people are using public transport. So I always kind of keep that close and I don't want people to have to, like, walk too far or, then once they get there, they've gotta catch Ubers or taxis. Try and make it as easy and, um, you know yeah.
And I think Cherry Bar's a perfect example of very easy to get to. You can walk it; it's a fair walk, but it is walkable from Flinders Street.
Yeah, no, I'm so excited for that. Like yeah, got the 2 nights at the Cherry with like the most amazing bands ever. And I mean a lot of people know Mark is a part of what I do. Mark's been my manager for years now. So yeah, I'm so excited to have them come back and meet Chloe and everyone. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
This month actually, November is my biggest month, for the whole year. We've just had, so much on. So, I've got, I don't know if you remember when I did the Cry tour, I made a lot of that live shows and a lot of them radio shows in between. So, I love doing that so much that I've just, locked in another radio tour
oh
to kinda kick
wow,
off and go all the way through to, like, January, February, and yeah, do some traveling and hit the radio stations up, and do the acoustic sessions of, Check Out and In the Dark and, all the ballads, everything stripped back. And, obviously I'm planning something else around that. There's a reason why I'm doing this. But yeah, I'm really excited to kick this off. November's huge. I'm also recording with Volume Dealer next week coming up. So that'll be cool. I've got an acoustic show on the 14th of November in Lilydale at, I think it's called Hop Hen Brewery. Um, what else? 29th of November, supporting Delacoma for the album launch. And December at Scotty's Garage with her because her's on tour as well.
oh wow.
And yeah, another couple of dates also that I've got to announce in between that. But I've just got to get through this week coming up, and then I'll do some more.
Far out. I thought my November was busy, Carly. That mine's got nothing on what you just mentioned in that 2 minute of what's happening in November and December. Mine's
Oh
not even
yeah, man,
close.
my diary's full. I also I carry a diary too. I need to write things down. Sometimes I need a list. I'm a list person. I've got to have that. So yeah, I've got my list happening. My diaries are full. Everything's full. The band calendar. So yeah, it's really exciting. Lots of recording coming up in between and filming as well at another studio doing like the acoustic stuff, which yeah, I won't talk about that too much because that's a special thing for next year. But yeah, so much, Sam. But I'm absolutely loving it, right? That's what we want to do. We want to do music, as much as we can. I'd rather be doing this than working. And, that's slowly how it's going. So on the right path.
That's the way to look at it too. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're enjoying it and it's your passion, then why stop? That's my theory.
No stopping here, man.
But the interesting thing about Volume Dealer, because Dan actually was on the YouTube channel about 4 months ago, I think it was, and
Yeah.
it was really good to chat to him because, and I've watched a couple of his episodes, like the one with Shotgun Mistress and King Parrot. I've watched, and a couple
Yeah.
of others, and I think it's a great idea what Dan's doing. I think anyone
Oh, man.
should sign up.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love it. And he's so cool to talk to. So I'm so excited. Yeah. So we do that this week and then it'll be out when it's out a little bit later on. But yeah, I'm really excited for that.
And it seems like it's a bit of a pattern because he's having people on that I've interviewed because he's had Avalanche on, he's had Shotgun Mistress on, now Karly Jewell is on. Maybe this is just
Well,
a
like I was saying to him, like it was like earlier on when he first started, I was trying to organize this and I was just so busy that we had the tour coming up and like all these Melbourne shows and stuff that I just had nowhere. So it kind of fell into place and it was like right at the end of the year and I was like now, it'll be perfect. In my busiest month, but yeah, it worked out really well because I said to him, like, sorry I didn't reach out earlier. Like, there's no way I could have done it earlier. So it's just kind of fallen into place. So, yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to that. So lots of filming this week. Yeah, I'm also doing the film clip for Check Out as well. So I think I'm doing that Monday, the following week. So, yeah, it's huge.
Well, there was going to be a question, what does the rest of 2025 hold in store for Karly Jewell? And you've pretty much just answered it without it being asked.
Yeah, everything. So we were also planning. We're pretty booked up even next year. We've got the return to Japan, end of June, start of July. We'll be over there. Yeah, we've got lots. I mean, yeah, there's so much going on and so much more recording. And as soon as I got this album out, I was like, right, it's time to start recording the third album because obviously I've got the songs written and I'm ready to go. I mean, I was writing songs for the next album while I was there recording this album, just in between in my downtime, waiting for Stuart to do his thing up in the studio. I was like, what am I gonna sit around and do? And I think I was just in such a space to write that I really just used that to just there's no interruptions. The world doesn't even exist when I'm there recording. It's just I'm there to do one job, and it gives me that time to just block the world out and write. Um, yeah, so I started writing, and yeah, here we are. We're ready to do it all again.
Wow. That's keeping the ball rolling, as they say.
Yeah, I know. I want to see how many albums I can get out in my lifetime. It's going to be lots, because I'm not going to stop. I reckon, I reckon I could do probably like 3 or 4 albums a year. Because I write too many songs. I just need the time to just go and record.
Yeah.
And yeah, we always need that money, don't we?
Yes, that's the one negative I reckon most musicians and bands would say about recording music is the money and the cost of it, because I can imagine it wouldn't be cheap.
No, I mean a lot of people they hear a new song, they say, "When are you gonna record that?" And you just think, even when you write a new song and then you get the video kind of idea coming, you like see the visuals and that, you're like, oh, you can just see it all, and it just takes a lot, and people don't realize that. That an album can cost. It depends what you record, really, and your price of your videos. Yeah, it's a lot of money,
Yes, and you
but
don't
we
want
keep
to.
doing it. We keep doing it, right? We can't stop. This music stuff, it's like a disease we can't get rid of,
Well,
but I love it.
disease. That's an interesting term to use for the music. I think yeah, but you're right in some ways. Like it's just when you get a hold of something, or as Carly said, you're writing songs for the next album while you're recording the previous album. You just get in this zone where you want to just get it out there.
Yeah, 100%, because it's so exciting. And I'm so addicted to even I was like I'm looking for something. I'm searching for this thing. Like what is it? And I know what it is. It's like when you go to the studio and you start recording the song and then you start to listen once it's being built and then it's like it's that reaction, that first thing when you're like, "Oh my god." Like I want that feeling. Like that's what I chase, that high. And I was like, I'm ready for it.
No,
Third album, let's go.
bring it on, as they say.
Yeah.
So Carly gets the gist of my interviews, chats. It's a bunch of questions about Karly Jewell. Then at the very end, the tables get turned, and Carly has the floor. So I'm now the interviewer, interviewing now, but at the latter part, I'll be the question answer person. I don't know if that's the right word.
Switch.
And of course, this episode will be uploaded tomorrow, and Karly Jewell has the first 5 spots on the local bands and artists Spotify playlist, as every band that interviewed gets that spot for the week. So I think Sad Girl's definitely on there, and Burn. Maybe there's a Jewel in town. I need the list in front of me, which I don't actually have the
I know.
list.
Look, Sam, I got my list of everything in November this week because I was like, I think he's gonna ask. I've got to write it down. There's so much.
But yeah, that will be uploaded tomorrow, and yes, there's a big countdown happening in a few weeks' time that Karly Jewell will appear in as well. I'm just literally giving away who's in the countdown, because everyone that's jumped on since this has been announced is in the countdown. So it's just like, well, half the countdown's not going to be a shock. People are like, oh yeah, we heard that on YouTube. So,
Yeah,
but yeah, no, Carly does feature quite a few times, but not in the first few hundred. If that's a giveaway of where you are, you're sort of in the middle part, not the start.
that's all right. I'll take it. Thanks,
But
Sam.
it might be higher. I don't know. My positions in countdowns do tend to
I'm
change with
happy to
songs.
just be there. I'm happy to just be there, man.
All right. Well, yep, that starts the 13th of December. And yes, a lot of intrigue. Dreadful Tides will certainly be in it. So,
Yeah.
and the band wearing that's not Australian, which was probably, well, they are New Zealand, so we can class it technically. No Life will definitely be in there. Hush, hush, Sam, don't give away too many clues. Anyway, back to the interview. All right, what has Carly been up to since we last spoke?
Yeah, playing shows, doing tours, and putting the album out. I hit the ARIA chart, Sam. That was a huge thing for me. That was wild. So that happened. Beat Elton John that week, which was pretty wild, and Taylor Swift and Billie Eilish. So
That's a pretty impressive three
yeah,
bands
I
or
got
artists.
globally 39 on the ARIA charts. I charted on the iTunes charts as well. I was don't know what number, but I was in between Miley Cyrus and Youngblood, which was pretty cool. And I got the featured part like right up on their main page, so that was pretty wild. Um, yeah, I got number 3 in Australia for our album and number 1 in Victoria. So that was just huge. I mean, still that's such a surreal moment, even just to like talk about it or like say those words, because yeah, it really happened, and it was the emotions were, like, crazy. I got asked in an interview, like, last week how I felt, and I said, like, honestly, because I didn't know if I was gonna faint or throw up or laugh or cry, and then I kind of was like, "Wow, this is crazy." Like, never in my wildest dreams, like, if I could go back and tell myself as a kid, like, "One day you'll hit the ARIA charts," like, wow, that's pretty cool.
Think
Might have
what
made things better as a kid.
and well, I guess if anyone asks you what you've done as a musician, you could say, "Hey, I topped the charts and I beat out Billie Eilish and Taylor
Yeah,
Swift."
I mean, I was the biggest thing I was, like, especially on the iTunes charts and everything, like, Jimmy Barnes released, like, an anniversary album or something that week, and I was like, "Oh, I just wanna beat Jimmy Barnes." Like, I love Jimmy Barnes, but I was like, "No, I just wanna beat Jimmy Barnes," and when I was talking to my label boss, I said, "Tim, did I beat Jimmy Barnes?" He's like, "Carly, you bet more than Jimmy Barnes." And, so yeah, that was wild. Still love Jimmy Barnes, though.
Well, beating Jimmy Barnes, that's an Aussie icon. Like Jimmy
Exactly,
Barnes is
right?
huge.
Yeah, that's so cool.
But no, that's very impressive, and it's awesome to see that your album's getting recognition as well, Carly. Like on iTunes, as you mentioned, and I mean Victoria charts as well, Australia, globally. It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, man, just to be able to get it out and share this album with people and just the reaction from like not just here but in Australia, like all over the world, man, like people listening and like sending me messages. And I think I had this girl through like one of my friends is a gamer and he just shared the link in like one of his gaming thing, like over in Texas actually. And this girl wrote this like, really cool write up about the album that she wasn't even ready for it. Yeah, and like I almost knew her before she knew herself. Like, I mean, just the write up that she wrote, like it was so touching, like just to know that um these stories, like she felt that, like she understood and we really connected and I just felt so close to her and she's on the other side of the world, and it was just so it's just been amazing to share that. And there's no um I put my heart and my soul and my real life into these songs. Like my guitar is my diary. When I come here to write, like the guards are down. I'm letting everyone in because I'm trying to get through something, and I'm writing about real life stuff. And yeah, it just to be able to connect with people and that this is yeah, it's been really amazing, man.
And especially that story in itself is even bigger than the charting success that you've touched a person like with your music that lives, I don't know how far Texas is from Victoria, but
Yeah,
it's a long way.
oh yeah, man. It's just and yeah, and it's so amazing. Like even in Japan, like it's just like music has its own language and we all understand it. And they may not even know what I'm singing about, but like they're connected to the music and the emotion. They can feel that emotion in the music. And that's the most important thing when I'm recording is the emotion and the energy that I put into it. I'm like transferring this into the music, like I go from writing the songs that like I am the music. That's what I'm trying to bring. And um I really that can be I'm listening and I'm like it probably needs some more emotion in that part right there. Like I think I can deliver that better. And like you really want to hear it. And I mean you can go in there and sing your song great, but you gotta put it all in there, man.
Yep, totally agree with that. I think, yeah, 100% effort into it because if you're not happy with it, the listeners, or if, sorry, that wasn't word right. If you're wanting it to sound like what you've put out there, but it's not sounding like what it is,
Mm,
it's, yeah, the more time you work on the song, and if it takes longer to record and get out there, but it's a great product, it's worth
yeah,
every dollar. And as we've said earlier in the interview, money for recording, editing, mixing is not cheap. So you want to get it done perfectly.
yeah, yeah. It's even in the first album, in the song September, that really connected, I think, more with people than any other song on that album. And I couldn't sing that song without crying because it was about losing my grandmother in September, and it was really traumatic for me, and I just couldn't go back to that place without crying. And then even creating this like amazing song I had to create half of it here in Australia, and the other half I flew to LA to get Claudio to play piano because he was a cancer survivor and he knew that story. And I just knew he'd be able to put that emotion in that with his piano playing. And I couldn't record it without crying, and I was like, you just do it. Like I'm just gonna do it as it is because it's real life. I can't hide in this. I don't care if it doesn't have to sound perfect. It just has to be. It's my story. I'm just sharing it how I'm gonna share it because it's real life, and I can't pretend I'm happy and I can't stop crying when I sing this song. And yeah, it was just real. And it just pays off to be real, Sam. That's you just got to be real all the time. You can't hide in music.
No.
Well,
And
I
the emotions as well, like what you were saying about September and the story behind it, I think people will feel that emotion if you bring the emotion, and it's a very emotional song for people who haven't heard September on the first album. But yeah, like there's some songs that make me cry, and I'm happy to admit that over WebEx and YouTube. I mean, but
yeah,
yeah, I mean, any song by like Soundgarden now, like any Chris Cornell song or Chester Bennington song, I listen back to it. I'm like, I didn't realize just how emotional these songs were at the time before their
yeah.
passing. I mean, yeah, it's
I mean, for the new album, um, there was these feelings that I had to sit with for a couple of days right before I dropped the album. And I actually messaged Stuart, my producer, and I said, you know what? I don't know if it's every artist, Stuart, but I've got all these feelings, and I can't maybe I'm just a really emotional person. But it was like graduating from therapy as well. Because obviously there's a jewel in town. That's a tribute to my grandfather. He used to tell me that before every show. Let him know there's a jewel in town, and I didn't have that song written until I got there. I knew I had the song to write for the album. The big song and the title track was in me. I just wasn't written yet, and I had this idea in my head, and all these things that he told me and about growing up in a small town and all this kind of stuff, and I wrote that song and I put it on there, and Heaven Gets the Best was about my stepdad who had separated from my mum, but I was still really close to, took his own life, and I didn't know how to cope with that without writing. And so I wrote Heaven Gets the Best. And, I had all these feelings, and I messaged you and I said, like, I I had to go through so much, but I'd like created this amazing album, and, you know, I was able to create things from like such sadness, and it turned into something really beautiful. Instead of just going like downhill or off the rails, I went this path to heal through music, and that's what music can do for people. It's so special to hear such a broken story and then be turned into something so beautiful that so many people can connect with, and then maybe they can heal with that as well. But I was like, this album took so much loss as well. Um, And maybe if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be able to write these songs. But thankfully, I have music, and my grandfather, you know, made that happen from a very young age. And yeah, like it was just like as soon as that album come out, it was like I was able to close that door. I'd healed, and then I was just, I turned it into something really magical. And yeah, I was just so grateful. So I guess like I'm healing, and it got me through things, but at the same time, I got to put out my second album, and it was my first album I'd done and written any of these songs without my grandfather, like, being on a phone call every day, like, "Pop, what do you think of this hook? Like, I wrote this song, like, do you wanna have a listen to this?" I'd play my guitar and sing, say, "Oh, I reckon that hook could be a little bit better," or, don't make it complicated, just say it how just tell your story, don't overthink it. And, so this whole album I went into, and I felt so alone in the writing process. Like I really had no one, because he was the person. I mean, I had the band and I had everyone else, but I mean that one person that was always there was no longer there. And yeah, it was really special to kind of share this with Stuart, and have all these songs for the first time, without my pop being there, and just getting to be excited with him, and I would have loved to have told him, my God, I get to go and work with Stuart Stewart, like he's one of Australia's like best producers. Um, it's such an honor to work with Stuart. Yeah, like all these things, and yeah, I got that album out, man. I went and did it, and but yeah, that's what an album, and putting it out felt like. It was yeah, closing a chapter, and now I'm ready for the fun times. I told Stuart I wanted to write a lot of pop songs. I really wanted that, and he was like, "Carly, you know what? You've just got this thing for sad songs. Like, don't go away from it, because some people can't write really sad songs, And I'm like, it is my thing. That's what sad girl's about. It's about I'm a sad girl, but I can still have fun, and I'm excited for this next album because there's a lot of fun things happening, and I've got some pretty cool stuff planned for this third album.
Well, I'm super keen for it, like, because I've listened to both albums, Phoenix, and of course, There's a Jewel in Town, and have listened to them quite a lot. I actually listened back to both albums today because, as an interviewer, I know most interviewers probably just listen to the latest release, but if I've
Yeah,
got enough time, I generally try and listen to discography unless
yeah.
it's like 50 albums or something.
It's so cool, right? Also for me to listen to, because I can hear that growth. like, I'm always trying to learn, and I'm always trying to, like, outdo what I did yesterday, and, it's just on a whole new level. Like, even when I recorded this album, I was like, I don't even know what you do with this, like, these songs are so big."
Mm.
I was like, "I'm gonna have to go home and think about this, Stuart, and I'll ring you back." And he's like, "Alright." They were just massive. I couldn't believe they were my songs. Like, just yeah, such an honor to work with Stuart.
No, and I mean, I've heard the name, but I haven't sort of met Stuart, obviously, but I've heard other people mention his name, and it's good to have those sorts of people here in Australia, overseas as well, and
Yeah,
yeah, just doing what they do. And I think Australia has some of the best producers, recorders, everyone. Literally, it's some of the
100%, yeah.
some of the best bands in the world. Even I think we have. So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. Yeah, I can't wait. The new album, Sam, I will tell you, there's a song on there called Scars, and it's about sad things happening, but how um I see people and they see me when we carry these scars, and it's emotional. I'm not gonna say sad song because it's about we're gonna be okay. Um, I've got that song coming. I have some really heavy melodic stuff which I love, and a lot of pop rock, and some yeah, I don't know what genre it would be, but it's some very Karly Jewell stuff coming.
Because on your Triple J Unearthed page, it's actually interesting to see in the segment down the bottom it says sounds like, and then it's got Pretty Reckless, Avril Lavigne, and Miley Cyrus, and I can sort of see all three of those as influences in your music, especially Avril Lavigne. I don't know why I see it so much, but it's sort of that,
I think it's that kind of like pop rock. I think.
yeah, like sort of back in the old Avril Lavigne days,
Yeah,
sort of not now, but like Skater Boy, Complicated, those
yeah,
sort of. But yeah,
yeah. A
then
lot of influences. You know, it's always really hard for me to answer like who my biggest artists or bands that inspire me because it's music really. Like I've got because there's so many artists that I love, you know. Um and I love the most like the artists that don't fit the boxes. Like David Bowie, like George Michael, you know what I mean? They even John Farnham. I'm like I don't know what John Farnham is. He's just music. You know what I mean? Cuz he's like rocking out but he's got these ballads but he's like I don't know, boy pop. I don't know what it is. John Farnham's like his own thing and he's just magic, right? And David Bowie was the same. Like he was a bit of everything and was never scared to just be himself. And I think that inspires me so much to just like just keep moving. Doesn't matter where it goes. Just move with the feeling and just go for it, man.
John Farnham, and it's nice to know he has other songs other outside of "You're the Voice." Because if I hear that song one more time, I think I'm gonna go.
Dude, I'm not even gonna lie. If I hear that song, I cry. I cry every time I hear it. Like my nan was such a huge John Farnham fan, and every time I hear it, I just think of my nan 'cause she'd been to his concerts, and it just makes me cry. I'm like, I can't cry right now. It doesn't matter where I am. I'll just cry if I hear it.
I think just that and bellowing out that that was a really bad impression of it, but I think
We should
yeah,
have done it together, Sam.
and Carly's voice would have sounded much better than what mine would have if we did the "You're the Voice" chorus together. Mine would just sound like chalk on a blackboard, like literally.
Yeah, no, yeah, oh, there's so much I love.
Uh,
Manson's always been, I mean, I'm such a huge fan of Manson and Casey Chambers. Like, people can't work that out, and I'm like, the thing is, like, when you listen to their lyrics, it's like it's straight up the truth. Like, it's stuff that's happening, you know, it's like not every one of his songs, but you know, they just say it how it is. Um, and Casey Chambers is so real, you know what I mean? Like, and there are those sad songs, but those happy songs, and yeah, like I've just had so many music and music, and my grandfather was always my biggest inspiration, you know, just to be like him, write songs and be an artist, and just learn how to tell my own story through music, you know.
It's good to have people like that in your life, especially family, as Carly mentioned there with her grandfather. And I think the other thing you'll remember also, even though he has passed, I feel like he was there with you every day of the recording for this new album.
Man, he totally was, right? I'm gonna tell you a story. You might think it's crazy, and anyone that's listening might think it's crazy, but um, you know, he's never gonna leave me. Ever. And you know, like the music he passed on, like that's from him. And I'm now doing this, you know. It's in the blood, man. It's in the genes. Like that's a part of him, and it lives on through me. And you know, he it was so strange because on my second, or maybe my first Japan tour, yeah, the first Japan tour, right? I didn't realize how much my grandfather and I would talk about bullet trains, and we got this thing for trees, man, and like he just loved so much stuff about Japan. I didn't realize how much I knew about Japan and all the things I'd spoken to him about until I got there. He was obsessed with the bullet trains, right? And when I got to Japan, and like I'm a really spiritual person, so you know we went to the temples and we went out where there was trees, and you know it was like these beautiful areas to just like meditate. And that's me in between shows. I'm meditating, I'm, you know, doing all that stuff. That's me. um so I went to Japan, right? Now I'll tell you something. My pop's favorite artist was Emmylou Harris, and when I first started music, the very first song I learned on guitar was Don't Take Your Guns to Town by Johnny Cash, and I used to stand in front of my pop and play the top two strings, and we'd sing Don't Take Your Guns to Town. And I promised Pop that one day I'd go and play the Viper Room in LA where Johnny Cash had played. And I did that. And that's where I wrote the title track for the Phoenix album. I wrote Phoenix.
Oh, wow.
And I rang him and I said, like, I'm really here, Pop. I just played the Viper Room, you know. And that was just a bucket list. You know, obviously he couldn't travel anymore. But, you know, I went and did that. So we had the Johnny Cash and the Emmylou Harris. And right, I wanted to take something with me to Japan of my pop, so I felt like he was with me. So I took one of his hankies and it was in my back pocket the whole time. Even on stage, you know, I was in there like a bandana. I was like, fuck yeah, like this is my pop's hanky, right? And because I thought if I take anything else and I lose it, I'll never forgive myself. So I just took one of his hankies. So I get to Japan and we're in like 7 stories of Tower Records in Tokyo, and they're so organized, Sam. Nothing is out of place, right? Everything is so organized. And we were talking about my grandfather who'd been on the bullet trains, and I felt like I could let go of so much grief when I went to Japan. It was just this I was able to just be the artist that I wanted to be with no one around you trying to compete. It was everyone there they're so excited for you and they just want to be there. There's none of this you got to have be in a rock band to be on this lineup. It's every genre. There's no one with their arms crossed. There's no one talking. Everyone's like it's unbelievable, Sam. And so we get to Tower Records and I'm thinking about my pop and we're looking for White Snake, one of the vinyls, right? So we're in the hard rock section. Now my tour manager, my guitarist, and Mars was there with me, and I went. We pulled it forwards, and there was Emmylou Harris's vinyl with the Goodbye song on it, and that's the song that I chose for his funeral. And I was like, this is weird. Like it's in with the hard rock. Like they're so organized here. And when I pulled it forward, there was Johnny Cash's album, and it had the "Don't Take Your Guns to Town." It was a live concert. And I just felt like that how are those 2 vinyls there
Yeah.
together, right? And then when I went to Brisbane to record with Stuart, I had my Pop's hanky in my pocket the whole time, and I dreamt of him for the first time, like the third time ever. And when I was there, and he come and told me that, like, just because I put myself under a lot of pressure to get this done. Like, I like to work under pressure. Even though it was too easy, I just kept the pressure on. And there was a lot of emotions, I'm recording this album and I'm trying to do my best, and I'm thinking, I hope everything he taught me is in these songs, how I write my songs, the dynamics. Like, this is so important to not waste one thing he ever taught me. Like, I'm on my own in the world now. I gotta I gotta make this work. So I wanted to buy Stuart a gift to thank him. And man, the whole time we were there, he wouldn't stop talking about, like, one of these Def Leppard, right? So I went down to JB Hi-Fi and bought him, like, those little, what are those, pop vinyls? It was, like, the whole set, right, to put in his studio. And I'm near, like, they had all of, like, the Kiss albums together, and you know what 2 albums were there on CD? Emmylou Harris and
And
Johnny
Johnny
Cash.
Cash.
And I
That's
was like, "I'm in the right place." And that morning, I had dreamt of him, and I woke up crying, and Um, my guitarist at the time was there. He did one of the tracks before he come back, and my papa told me, you're in the right place, and he told me just to breathe. And there was like this forest not far, and he's like, just go for a walk, and and just told me things. And I was like, I am in the right place. And I went into the studio that morning and just smashed it. And Stuart said, I don't know how you come in here and just smash that straight up. Like and I was like, well, what if I'm not here tomorrow and this is my only shot? And he was like, oh my God, you're so morbid. And I was like, well, you never know. But I'm like, I'm ready. Like, I'm doing this. I'm doing it. Let's go. And it's been things like that. People might think I'm full of shit. There were people around me, it's just feels like that's my pop, telling me it's all right and reminding me where I come from. He always wanted me to. My grandfather was so humble, and I think that was like so special about him. He's a freaking rock star in his own right. He wrote some of the biggest country music songs here for Slim Dusty and other artists, and you know he kind of thought he was nobody. And I was like, well, like you've written some amazing songs. Like you've lifted these artists, as well with the writing of the songs that you've done. And yeah, he was so humble, and he always wanted me to just be very grounded and humble. And I just know he's always there with me. He can't ever leave me, really. Like we're always going to be doing this together. So you're right, Sam. He's always there. He's definitely always there. And I still go for my walk just before I go on stage, and I go and have a chat to him. I used to call him all the time, and now I tell Rusty I go for a walk to talk to the ghost. Um, yeah, so he's always gonna be there, man.
no, I
Sorry,
totally.
sorry that was way long, Sam, but
No,
like, I gotta just tell you the truth, man. Like, it's so special to me, and like, I even if some people think he's not or it can't be real, I have to know that he's there with me for me to be okay. So
but also having that lasting feeling as well. Like he might be gone, but his spirit and he's still there in the back of
yeah,
your mind and still there. Like there's points there where you mentioned about the 2 records at JB Hi-Fi of Emmylou Harris and Johnny Cash being together. Like it was almost like it was telling you something.
yeah, 100%. Uh, definitely, man. Like, yeah, it's there's some things that happen that I'm just like, all right, Pop, I know you're here. I just know it. Some of my biggest shows or things that I do, like, I take my pop's guitar and I'll put it on stage just so where I am, what started this, who we are is right there with me. I'll carry that every day and keep him alive through music. And even though I was in Brisbane, right, and Sad Girl, I was working on Sad Girl, and there was just one line I needed that I moved something around in the verse, and I couldn't think, and I was like, I needed like 3 words, and I said to Stuart, "You know, it's easier for me to go and write a whole new song, like, in 5 minutes than get 3 words out." And I was thinking to my pop, "Come on, pop, what would you say?" Like, I'm trying not to overthink this, and I just wrote 3, 2, 1. And I just kinda, like, scribbled it out, right? And Stuart looked over and went, "That'll work. 3, 2, 1, don't do defeat." And I was like, "Yeah, I didn't write it." Like, I was like, "Oh," and I was like, "You know what? It works." And I kept it. But I'm like, I don't know, I feel like that was my pop in some way, just, like, kinda grabbed my hand and wrote 3, 2, 1, and that was it. It was, like, simple as 3, 2, 1, don't do defeat. And that's it. Sad Girl was finished. I just needed 3 words and it was 3 numbers. And
That
I just wrote it.
I think, yeah, 3, 2, 1 would be the easiest 3 words to find because trying to think of
Yeah,
3 other words in a song, nah, that's
it just come apart, and I was like, "Yeah, I don't know how that happened, but thanks, pop, I'll take that."
no, very, very inspirational, your pop. Not that I ever met Karly's pop, but everything I've heard just in that bracket there and everything else, I mean, lasting impression, as they say.
Yeah,
But no, music is a great thing. A good healer. It's good for the mental health. It's good for so many things. Like it might sound strange me saying that, given I'm not in a band or I'm not a musician, but just listening to a band song that's just come out or an artist, it's sometimes no matter how bad a day you're having, music can lift you up very quickly.
100%, 100%. That's why, when you're at a show, you get to let go of everything, man. You just get to live in the moment. Like, it's so cool to have that.
Certainly is, and yeah, I've heard a lot of great things about Tokyo, Japan, and that because not only did Karly Jewell, Shotgun Mistress play over there, punk band from Melbourne called Captives played there a year or so ago as well, and it's everyone's wanting to tour Asia. I think it's great.
It's just amazing over there, Sam. I think, yeah, when bands that are going, like when Avalanche first went over, Veronica messaged me and said, "Hey, Carly, any tips?" I said, "Girl, you need to train your legs. Like, you're not gonna realize how many steps you're gonna do in a day, right?" And even when the Midnight Devils went there, they said, "What's it like?" And I said, "I can't explain it. It's like, honestly, it's almost spiritual. Like, the bonds and the friendships that you create, like, these people become like family." And, I've heard that the music scene can be like that in, parts of Europe as well. I've never been there. I just never went there because I always had LA. I spent the first 10 years of this part of the journey going over to California. And then just decided, we go to Japan, and that's where I really found my home. And you know, I just couldn't describe it to people until they went. It's just unreal. And I just love that, yeah, everyone's getting out and heading over there. It's amazing.
It's very good to see, and actually, it's good to see all these Aussie bands breaking into the overseas scene as well. Like Avalanche is a perfect example. Yeah,
They are absolutely amazing. I love them.
I reckon I saw them at Last Chance. This is probably 3 years ago. I reckon. Dreadful
Mm,
not Dreadful Tide, sorry, King's Vengeance played with them, and there was someone else, and I can't think who the other band was at the
yeah.
time. But I just saw this band Avalanche, and this had been before I'd interviewed Steve or Veronica from the band. I'm like, I'm really digging this sound. And then Glenn sends me a message saying a recommendation to play, I feel like it might have been Bottle of Sin. And then, did you want to interview? I'm like, all right, I won't say no to
Yeah.
that. That
I
wasn't
love
what I was
it.
expecting. I was more like, I'm happy to play their music, but no, I'll interview them. Happy to do that.
I know I need to be on my own radio show again, right? Because I'm like seeing all these bands, like I need to interview, I need to play their song. Like I need to go and do live reviews. I need to tell as many people I can about these people. I got to get back into it.
And like, I think the other thing with that is also like when Spotify, I don't want to bitch too much about Spotify because it's been done to death and all that. But when the whole thing with the audio podcast shot through, they wouldn't let me play bands, artists, music, and all that, which is crock of shit, really. But um, this is why this WebEx podcast came about, because a lot of people were saying you can still have an influence, just do WebEx or Zoom or something on TikTok. And I'm
Mhm.
not a massive TikTok fan, so that wasn't really what I was going for. But then I'm like, what's the harm in doing one WebEx episode? If I don't enjoy it, at least I've tried something.
Yeah, if you don't like it, don't do it. You don't know until you know, right?
But obviously, I do enjoy it because I haven't
Yeah,
stopped.
that's it. Give it a go, yeah.
And I like this format. I actually like seeing the person I'm talking to now. It's
Yeah, before when I couldn't get in, I was like, I went back and I was like, wait, am I just joining the audio? And I was like, this can't be me. Why do I always do this? And I'm
uh,
like, I want to do a video. Like I know our last video one was really awesome. I don't know what we ended up doing it on. Was that Zoom?
was that Zoom or WebEx? I can't
It
remember.
was Zoom. I don't think I've used this before.
Nah, nah. A lot
Yeah.
of I have decided though, and for people listening, if you want to use Zoom to do the interview, I've got both Zoom and WebEx on the laptop, so either.
They are literally the same.
I don't know what the difference is. There is a slight difference, but maybe price, maybe. I think Zoom's a bit more expensive than WebEx monthly. I think that's the only
Oh,
difference. But pricing, it's only like $1 or two. But I guess in this day and age, every dollar
yeah.
counts. Well, we've already sort of heard what has the response been like for There's a Jewel in Town, all those charting successes and that. So that's answered that question. Favorite song off the album?
Oh, you know what? I love There's a Jewel in Town. Obviously, that's a huge honor. Um, but one of my favorites is My Old Friend. It's because I'm like totally into like the electronic kind of dance world as well, and I've done that kind of music before. I've touched every genre. Um, and yeah, I love it, man. It's such a I'm gonna let people if you already know what that song's about, then you already know. Um, but if you don't, I'm just gonna let it be your own song. But it's just got a vibe from start to finish, man. I just love it, love it. So yeah, I mean, I love them all, but yeah,
I've got to be honest, I actually don't know what my favourite song is because it changes.
yeah. I mean, my favorite vibe is My Old Friend because I just love it. Jewel in Town, such an honor. Oh, you know what? Checkout, actually, yeah, checkout's like in there as well. Um, cause you know, you got to turn bad things into good things, and you've just got to start every day as a new day. And yeah, it's an honor to be here and have written that song because I literally know firsthand. That's why I wrote it, obviously. Um, And yeah, I just wanted to share that message with people that you're not alone. And you know what I want from people every time they buy an album, every time I give my albums away, it's just it's from my heart, my soul, my absolutely everything. And I hope that everyone can feel the magic and there's something that they can connect to and just to never feel alone with me. When you listen to my songs, you're not alone. Um I'm not. there to like give all the hugs that are needed and hang out when the hangouts are needed and make you laugh when you're there or listen to you. But I can do that through music, and that's what I wanted to put in this album. That's why the energy and the emotion was so important, even to the points where sometimes I breathe in between words. It's capturing every single emotion. A lot of people don't know that. Sometimes I don't, I just get it done. And there's certain times where we got to take a breath. Um, it all adds up to emotion and to connect with people. Um, so yeah, it's the whole album's and on every song, but yeah, there's a couple that are, you know, in my top.
I think I always love the fact when a first single drops off the album, and that's sort of what's leading me towards why I enjoy Sad Girl so much, is because
Right.
when you hear a first single, like there's some exclusions for like the second single being better than the first to come off the album, but 95% of the time the first single is the one that gets people hooked and ready for the album. And I think that's
Well, it's
what's
story, it's a straight up introduction.
mm,
I am a sad girl, and I grew up in a small town where the rivers meet, the Murray and the Darling River in a small town called Wentworth. Um, and yeah, I write a lot of songs, and I'm pretty sad. I love being who I am. Uh, and but I'm having a good time.
that might be why it connected with me. Like I'm not saying
I
Warrigal's
reckon it was the
small.
Fuck, Sam. Tell the truth. You're like Fuck.
That part, but now hearing about the being from a small country town, like Warrigal's not small, but in comparison to Bendigo and Geelong, Ballarat, it's not even a third of the size of those towns. And being
Yeah,
from regional Victoria, like Karly is, of course, growing up, it's sort of like it is a lot more difficult to sort of get ahead in life because Melbourne's like, it's only an hour and a half from here, but it's sort of
yeah.
like if I want to go to live music, I've got to travel to Melbourne 90% of the time, and then Geelong
I
or
know. And you know what? Small towns. I mean, I don't know if I get hate for saying this, but small towns have that same routine, man. And I wrote about it in Town. Should I stay in my hometown, marry a cowboy? Big church wedding, same old story, same old ending. And I couldn't stay, I'm too loud. That's what because it is. You grow up in a small town and you just kind of get small towned. You you get small towns. Yeah. You stay there, you go to school where your mum went to school. I mean, in my case, my mum never went to that school because my grandparents had moved there and my pop opened the police station there and went with. But sometimes that's the cycle. It's you grow up, you go to school the way your parents went, then you marry a farmer, and then you have kids, and then they go to school. It's a circle, man. And I wasn't about that. I mean, my friends are back there, and I love that, and they love, and I love that they love that. But I wasn't that. I was too loud. I'm like, I'm gonna go play music and rock out. I knew that from a very I knew the minute I was, like, standing on the side of the door at my pop's studio and I could hear music, I wanted to be a part of that, and that's from, like, 3 years old. I was like he's trying to do vocals for demos for, songs he's sending off to country artists, and I'm, like, knocking on the door, like, "Let me in," and he'd get me there and he'd be like, "Alright, I'll teach you about harmonies," and I'd sing the harmonies on his demo tracks, to send out to these artists, and I was like, "Oh, record this song, like, I wanna sing a Christmas song or, some nursery rhyme, I'll sing it. Just learning how to do all this stuff. I knew from, very, very long time. And just being at the country music festivals with my grandfather and seeing, these bands are touring and there's buses coming into town. I was like, I want to do that. I was like, why do I even have to go to high school? Like, why do I have to go to school? Just teach me how to write songs. And he's like, I can't. You've either got it or you don't. And I had it. It's in the genes, man.
it's in the blood, as they say, as
It
well.
really is. It's a trait that yeah, it's passed on. It's not gonna go away. And saying that, Sam, how's this, right? Uh I am going home um in March, 7th of March, and I was asked to go home and headline a festival on the Wentworth Showgrounds. I
Wow.
think now we've got over 10 bands. We've got like all the food trucks coming, so it's a cancer benefit um concert for cancer research. Patrick Noonan is the man putting it on. It's his third one he's done. Um, and yeah, I got asked and I said, "Oh my god, yes." So we've now got Triple M on board, the FM community radio station. Um, and it's so exciting because like we went and played the festival in Adelaide a couple of weeks ago, and we decided to like take the whole crew and sound and light and everything, as you do, and we hired like a minibus, and then we realized how many people wanted to come home to this festival, and now we're hiring a freaking coach. Like we've gone from a bus to a freaking coach.
Oh,
Uh
far out. Yeah.
so so then I said, "Okay, Patrick," I said, "Do you think it's okay if I bring one of my label bands if they're free with me?" So I got Audio Rain on the festival as well.
Oh,
So
wow.
they're coming from Adelaide because it's only like 3.5 hours. So like we kind of Patrick kind of announced it in Sunraysia, but we haven't really announced it on our behalf yet here in Melbourne to everyone we know. But yeah, so first exclusive, I'm going home to headline a cancer benefit festival on the Wentworth Showground, 7th of March. It's gonna be a lot of bands, the whole town's coming. So yeah, that's gonna be huge. And Audio Rain are coming, and we're gonna actually take the bus because we a lot of people want to come with us in Melbourne. So we're gonna take. I think we can fit like I don't know, maybe like 50 people in this bus or 60 people. So if you want in, we'll
So,
let you know how to get a seat on the bus.
oh, an Audio Rain. I love Audio Rain. I saw them last year at no, that was it last, yeah, last year at Leadbeater. I thought it was this year for some reason, but it was late last year with Shotgun Mistress, and
Yeah,
yeah, they were sick. And I've interviewed obviously Jake from the band last year, and yeah, their music's awesome. There's some seriously good fucking talent coming out of South Australia at the moment. I don't know what's in the waters
no,
over
you
there.
know who you got to check out? Lonely Empire. They played at the Rock Hard Festival. Yeah, I got like a Silverchair vibe, and I was like, I'm literally witnessing something so special here. Like, this kid's like, I don't know, 17 or something, and their dad's in the band. They're really young, and I'm like, holy shit. The
I
vibe is just like, their songs are like, it's not like Silverchair, but I'm telling you right now, it's got that vibe. They're another band. They're a band to watch.
Because I reckon I discovered Lonely Empire because they did a cover of Helena by My Chemical Romance, which is a personal favourite song of mine. And when I
Yeah,
went to Spotify, it said Helena, and like, there's another version of Helena outside of My Chemical Romance. I got to check this out.
they're just the coolest kids ever, and like, they're just, yeah, absolutely love them. Gonna try and organise a show in Melbourne with them when they come over. They
Oh,
said, "Let us know when we can do a show with you, Carly. We'll jump in the car and we'll be there." So I've got to organise something.
by the way, that there's something in the water. That wasn't a bad thing with South Australia. There is so much. I mean, we just mentioned Audio Rain and Lonely Empire.
Yeah,
There's
South
Woof,
Australia, South Australia.
yeah, Woof and Chain, Alt, Those Left Behind, Signals. I could go on. We could be here
Yeah,
all day.
I know.
But it's no Feed the Fire's not from Adelaide, are they?
I don't know.
I
I know the
think.
name.
Oh, or am I thinking of another band that's like Feed the Fire? But there's another band I'm trying to think from South Australia that I should know, and I've just gone completely blank.
Nah, awesome bands over there, man. And that the Woodshed's unreal. Like such a cool venue. So yeah, I can't wait to get back over there.
Nah. So how I discovered Karly Jewell, of course, well, thanks mainly to Glenn Fogwell from Shotgun Mistress APR Radio, was the what is wrong with my visual at the moment? I don't know. It's playing up.
Cut out. I think I I think it's because of my battery. I've got like 14%.
Okay. Ooh. Well, I was more worried about my face. My visual
No,
was
I
looking
can't see your face, Sam. I can see mine.
okay. That's that's weird because I can see you perfectly.
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll just work with what we got,
Well, we
obviously.
don't know how this is gonna go, but if you're only seeing one of us, we're still here.
But I feel like this happened the other time. That someone
Let me
else
see. No,
jumped.
I've just stopped my video. How's this? This is so great. People can get us like real life. This is what we do, guys.
Hey, we got an hour of me seeing you and you seeing me, and when the
Yeah.
video goes up, it probably still will be that like that because there was an instance a couple of months ago where someone couldn't see me, but I could see them, and it came up on YouTube that their visual was saying like I could see their visual, they could see when I was talking. So maybe it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah, I don't think it is because of my battery. I mean, it's a little bit low, but yeah, I don't know. I can see me, but I can't see you.
what we'll work with what we got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like we're live on stage right now, Sam. This is what happens. You've just got to keep going.
Yes. And it's not like the audio one. You can't just say, oh, just it won't
No,
matter
this
if
this is what it's like to be in a rock band. When shit goes wrong, you've just got to keep going.
Yes. Now I was getting into the part of how I discovered Carly Jewell because surprise, surprise, it was Glenn Fogwell from APR Radio Promotion and also Shotgun Mistress because Glenn is a fucking legend
He
of the
is.
scene. And like Avalanche, Audio Rain, Suburbia, Suburbia, he's lined up countless interviews, Dreadful Tides, and all been amazing. And it was Glenn that actually sent through Karly Jewell's song, and I reckon this was for Open Roads. I think it might have been, or even Trouble We Are. It was one of those two songs.
I think it's trouble we are.
Okay, yep. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'll give it a listen. And then Glenn being Glenn's like, do you want to interview Karly? And it's like, of course I do. I mean, Aussie artists, Aussie bands, always happy to interview them. And that's how I discovered Karly Jewell, and so glad I did.
Yeah, it's I know, man. And then we got to when did we finally meet? We got to actually meet in person at
Was that
was
last?
it the last chance? Rock
Was
and
that?
roll.
I feel like that was Captives that night as well that played, but
Yeah, it was. It was.
oh, Fangs. Fangs was the other band. I was trying to put my
That's
finger
right.
on.
Yeah, it was Fangs and the Captives.
Yeah, there were two awesome bands, and was it Josh in the oh, what was the video clip where he ate all those eggs and he went on the TV show? I can't think of it.
Oh, yeah, I know, man.
Oh, I've gone blank again, Carly. This is bad.
Can't remember what it was, but I remembered he ate all those eggs, and I was like, "Holy shit, man! This guy's wild." But
Sounds
they're
like
so cool, right? And Sam is such a legend. Like Sam is so fucking cool as well. Like they're all really cool guys.
yeah, nah, and they make awesome music like that album with Wasting Time, Anne Marie, etc. That was a killer album.
Yeah, no, they're good, man.
And Captives always put on a great show.
Oh,
I haven't seen Aaron or Matt or any of them in ages. It's like 3 years nearly, I think, since I last saw them.
yeah,
Probably
it's been a
that
while.
probably that very show we met is the last time I actually saw Captives.
Yeah, that was the last one for me too.
But yeah, no, amazing. And there was a photo of me and Carly outside Last Chance. I think it's still on my Facebook photos. I don't check it that often. I did like Dean's message from Priorities. He goes, "Oh, what's he wearing that um hoodie for or something?" He put on the post. uh, but nah, Last Chance has got good memories, good food, good memories. Yeah, just everything about it. It's a good venue.
Mm.
Well, I feel like we've covered so much without actually asking many questions, Carl. I've
I
only
know. I think it's because I had a little heads up on the questions as well, and I was just so keen to tell everything, and talk about everything. And yeah, it's dude, like honestly, thank you so much for having me. And like, you've always been there and supported me so much, and all the musicians, like Sam, I back you 100%. You're one of the most like out there supportive, um, you know, guys in our scene here. You've always done, you know, podcasts or interviews and playlists, and I mean, shows, and you're hitting 100 shows in a year. And I was trying to get to that same show. I was like, this guy needs a cake. I want to get him a cake. But I think I was playing, and I'm not sure where you were. I was like on the other side of town. I was like, man, I'm gonna get you that 100 show cake. Like
oh.
we're getting you a cake. Um, but yeah, man, thank you so much for having me, and I can't wait to share this, and anyone that hasn't heard the album, please check it out. You can we've got limited merch as well with the album, which is pretty cool. I got the pink vinyl. You can get all that either from me at a live show or head to X Music for the Big Cartel store, or on my page. I'm on all the social medias. I am on TikTok, but to be honest, I'm a bit behind the game there. I'm really on Insta all the time and Facebook. But yeah, like thanks so much, Sam. And yeah, if anyone listens and they're curious to what's in this album, check it out. I'd love to share it. It's always an honor to share my music. And yeah, thanks so much for having me, man.
Well, the one thing just before we go is now I do have time before I have to get to work. Is if Carly actually wants to ask me anything before we go, now's the time.
Yeah, all right. So you do go out to other bands, and I've been getting out. What's another Melbourne band to check out, Sam? Who do we check out?
Oh, the toughest state to pick one band
Is
to
there
check
is
out.
there a new band, like New Kids on the Block? Who are they? Where are they at? We want to go check them out. Who are they, Sam?
I've got an actually interesting story about a cake that does involve a band from Melbourne because they embarrassed me at the Tote a few weeks ago when I attended my 50th gig this year. And to
Oh, really?
Josh and Rob and the guys from Shylocks, please don't think this is taking a dig at you. Check out a band called Shylocks. They are something. I hadn't heard of them up until that gig. Like, I'd interviewed Josh and Rob from the band only a couple of days before, and I didn't know a lot about them. And then I walked out of
Yeah,
that gig, and I'm just like, why haven't I heard of this band up until a month ago? Like, why has it taken this long?
yeah. All right. I'm gonna check them out. That's the band to check out. Um, I did think of a question earlier, actually. Live show. All right, live show. Who's the best? What's your best live show you've been to though? Not as in new band. Like which one absolutely blew
Oh,
your mind, Sam? Because I know you go to a few.
that's even
Who's in
harder.
your top three? Who's up there in your top three? Blew your mind.
I'm going to stay away from the obvious heavy hitters of Australian music. So, like, I love Parkway, I love Alpha Wolf and that, but for
Uh,
lesser known bands, I think Shotgun Mistress at Leadbeater last year was probably one of my favourite ones. I'm not being biased because
right,
Glenn and Dave and the guys are
guys, they
good
put on a
people.
show.
Yeah, and Glenn as a vocalist, like the shit that he
Oh,
does on stage, like I wouldn't even
I
try
was
and.
I was talking about Glenn last night. I played at the Espy last night in the basement with Double Pumper and Two Face Trio. Unreal. Oh my god, you gotta check them out. Um and I was watching the sound check, and I said to Stephen was there, and I said, like one of the best sound checks that I love, that I've been able to be a part of and see, is the shotgun sound checks. Like I don't think you've been at a sound check until you've been at a shotgun sound check. Like Glennie will just come out like, and like the drums and Maddie and Ben, like, oh man, they're just so much fun. And yeah, I love that I've been able to be at a lot of their sound checks, especially like across Japan. And yeah, they're just so much fun
And
from
good pay.
start to finish.
And the most important thing as well is they're great people to go on top of that.
Oh, I know, right? How shit is it when you really love a band, you go and see them, and they're like really shit people. They don't want to meet ya. They don't want to know ya. They don't even want to like come and sell you their album. Their sales like, I just um I think it's so important to have that connection. I get it. If you're that big and you're getting swamped, like you're fucking famous as fuck and you can't be around people, whatever. You gotta you gotta drop that shit, man. And you gotta come out and meet and be there with the people that are showing up to make you be able to do this. You know what I mean? It's so important. Um, I love that when I go there and I see bands and they're out and about with the crowd before they start, and they're watching the other bands, and they're there from start to finish. None of this shit where they're like sitting at the back or they're not even there watching the other bands. Like, you know, yeah, it's so good when they're good people. I mean, yeah, I love it.
And I think the other thing to add to that, Carly, is like what big bands have to realize as well. Like they were a band that like the bands on their lineup are trying to
Mm,
become what they have, and the headliner was like them 5, 10 years ago. There's
I know, right?
what is it with this ego shit? Like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that, but it's like you're in it. You're all in it for the same reason.
I know, man. Like I think a lot of the times people just got to stop trying to compete with each other, and you just worry about yourself. You know what I mean? Like, um, everyone's different. Everyone's good at what they're doing. And just we got to lift each other up. I have seen that change. I have seen that change where there's artists really backing other artists, and it's so good because especially in Melbourne, man, like we've got the goods here. The bands are like on fire here. Some of the best in the world. I'm telling you right now. They're right here in Melbourne. We just people haven't heard them yet. We don't have all the platforms. We don't have the big mainstream like some of the other countries do. But the goods is right here in Australia, and we've got to back each other 100%. And to shoot me, like I'm not afraid to call out people, and you know just I'm not taking any shit, and I'm not going to be around people that want to compete because I'm just here to build each other up. And that's why I love doing shows with like Shotgun and the Dreadful Tide, and like I mean, there's not many. Like everyone's working together, but it's just when you find your people, and we've got to keep doing that. We have to, help each other.
Mm. And it probably does help also that the Dreadful Tides, two of the four members are country boys at heart. Well, Leland technically is as well, but Justin and
Yeah,
Wes are
those
both.
guys so amazing. They're such good people. They're so much fun. When we went to Adelaide for the Rock Hard Festival that we went and played and the poor headline that we all ended up at Leland and I are actually on the phone. I was late to rehearsal because we were booking accommodation. I was like, let's all stay together at the same motel, right? This is gonna be fun. We ended up staying like we got the same hotel, and the poor ended up in the room next door to me, and then Leland and the guys were like just across the grass. So we got back and we were all like outside in the middle of the night, and yeah, hanging out, and they're just so cool. That's my second kind of road trip I've done with the Dreadful Tides because we went to Warwick, Nabil, and Adelaide. Yeah, and I just love them. They're such good guys, and yeah, they're so real. There's no bullshit about them. There's no egos. Like they're there for it. Supporting everyone, and you know,
No,
thankful to be around. So many great musicians. But yeah, the ones that still have that, like, we're coming for you. We're gonna like slap that out of you, and you're gonna be like, at all the shows and supporting each other because there's no room for that shit here.
no, there isn't. And also, the other thing I just want to touch base on, and this It's happened a couple of times, and I don't really understand why bands or musicians apologize to me for not catching up for longer at shows because I understand what they're saying, but the thing is, I'm there to support them, and
Yeah. But you know what, Sam? You're one that like you go above and beyond for, the Australian musicians, and you are really supportive. And I know what it's like too, not to get to spend a lot of time, because there's so many people and I am trying to spend my time with everyone. That's why I love doing my acoustic shows in between the rock shows, because I get to like it's separate from the rock band. We get to sit
yeah.
down and I get to spend one-on-one time with people. I really love doing that in between all these shows. And it is sometimes it's hard. I don't know why they say sorry, because like I know even when we were hanging out at the Midnight Devils gig, I ended up being the merch girl for Shotgun
Yes.
that night. And yeah, we didn't get to hang out. I was like, it's all right, man, like go watch the show and I'll catch you
Yeah.
at another gig. But
That
yeah.
that's my take on things, and, like, there's been just a few that have said it, and, like, we did catch up, though.
I
Like,
know. They probably just want to spend some more time with you, man, and really like, show that appreciation and give you some more time.
but that, like, even just a hello, like, if they said hello and that was it for the whole night, that's
Yeah.
fine with me. I'm there to support the bands. Like, there's
Yeah.
shows some of the best shows I've been to, I haven't spoken to anyone. Like,
Yeah.
that's I mean, and I just think, especially the headliner. Like, the headliner is always, they might say, "Oh, we didn't catch up," or "We only spent a few minutes." I'm like, if you're the headliner, you've got all that other responsibility on top of
Yeah.
playing the show. I mean, yeah. So bands, if you watch this till the end, don't apologize if we don't catch up. I don't hold it against any band or artist out there. It's yeah, no point. Oh,
It does get busy. I mean, I'm that person, like, I sometimes have merch people help me out, but I like to do it myself because I always want to like meet the people and give, I just like I'm like we're closed now. I'll come back later. We're opening it now. We're closed. I'm on stage. I'll be back down here. But I love that because I want to be able to be out there with the people and like meet them and watch the other bands and enjoy the show. I mean, even if we've got a back room, like you won't find me out there. I'll only ever miss whoever's playing before me. I'll only ever miss their last song because I always go for a quick walk and get in my headspace and have a quick chat to my grandfather wherever he is. I know he can hear me, and then I'll come back in. But yeah, it gets pretty busy. But man, we just appreciate you, and yeah,
well, I appreciate every band and artist in the scene, and I respect all the bands and artists. I couldn't do it, and it's not just the shows these bands and artists are putting on in the Aussie and New Zealand scene. It's the music that is going with it. I feel like the last 18 months has been the best 18 months of Aussie music that I've
yeah.
heard. And that is saying
Oh
something.
man, it's strong. I'm telling you.
But, like, who is this next big band? I mean, everyone is wondering. Like, there's so many out of Australia where you'd say that's the next big Aussie band.
Yeah,
But who is it? I don't actually know the answer to that, honestly.
I'd keep an eye on Avalanche.
Well, Sydney has produced some pretty big bands in the last 10 to 15 years, so I wouldn't be
Yeah,
surprised if it's Avalanche.
yeah, big things for those guys, and they work hard, and they're just really good people. They work so hard. So they deserve everything. And Shotgun, keep an eye on Shotgun. Don't forget about Shotgun.
No. And so, go catch Shotgun
Don't
on
forget
the.
about Karly Jewell. I'm right here.
Well, actually, don't forget about Karly Jewell and Shotgun Mistress Awaken the Hate on the 21st of November at the Cherry Bar. If you
Yeah.
haven't got tickets, oh, you can go see Karly Jewell the night before at Cherry Bar with Engraved and
Yeah, if you want a
Midnight.
warm up, if you want a warm up party, come and see us on the 20th with Midnight Devils. That's going to be wild.
It's a long time since I've been to the Cherry Bar. A
Yeah.
long time. So I'm keen for it.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be good.
Well, the only thing I don't like about interviews, Carly, and I know I say this every episode, is when it has to wrap up. That's the only negative of
Oh
this.
man, this has been a great one though. Even though we've got like one of us gone, I'm still here, you're not there. We don't know how it's gonna go. It's always fun, man, talking to you, and such an honor to share my music. And it's just the fact that you like give my music the time to listen to. Like that's such a special thing. Just like knowing someone's like giving their moment to my song right now. Like, and then getting to this interview and yeah, man, thank you so much. Absolutely appreciate everything you do, and for having me and helping me share my music and my story around the world.
Oh, it's been an absolute pleasure, as always, Carly. Um, yes, and I will catch up with Carly in a few weeks' time at the Cherry Bar. So, yeah, I'll be there. I don't think I can get into the Cherry Bar without people noticing. But
Nah,
yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, and I'd have Karly Jewell back on the podcast, like any of the bands or artists that I've interviewed, or the bands that I haven't interviewed. I'm keen to interview anyone out there. So yeah,
yeah. No, I love it, man. Well, thanks so much.
no worries at all, Carly. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and I'm sure I'll talk to you before the 20th, but I'll see you on the 20th of November.
All right, man. Thanks so much.
No worries.
Thanks
Have
for listening.
all good.
All right, bye.
Bye.